Welcome to Seasoned and Unbothered. We're two women over 50 serving grown women wisdom with a side of humor because we've earned the right to say what we mean and mean what we say.
All right, my lights, camera, action. Hello and welcome to Seasoned and Unbothered. Today we have, I think, a very interesting topic, especially as we are winding up the year. But before I get started, I always like to remind everyone to please like, subscribe, and comment. I think we have an interesting topic that we would really love to hear from all of you about and your thoughts on. And that is just some financial lessons that we have learned over our life, especially because we are at a big age. We are both, I'm 50 and over the 50. And I think that, I think there's some really good, some really hard lessons, and also some growth that we've learned from a financial perspective over this topic. So I will pass it over to you to kind of get us started, Vern.
Well, 50s, and I'm at the end of my 50s, and some of this I wish I had thought about coming into my 50s, right? So those of you who are in your 30s and 40s, you can make your 50s a lot easier.
Yes.
You can make your retirement. But this is really the decade, the pivotal decade, to really, really think about your retirement. And when I say retirement, it's just meaning really older age, how you're going to take care of yourself financially, where you need to be so that you can live somewhat stress-free. When we know this world and this economy is just up and down, but the more you prepare, the better off
You'll be? Period.
Yes. it really is.
Yes.
And this is a time also, I found out, to maximize your retirement and your savings. This is when you can do it, because there are a lot of methods of, like, you can put more money into your retirement if you haven't maxed it out. You could do more into your Roth or IRA. So it's just things like that I wish I had taken advantage of. But now I do know I am going to take advantage, and I have already started the ball rolling to make sure that I protect my assets, reduce my debt. That's really, really important.
What would you say is the number one kind of thing if you were to kind of
maximize your retirement savings?
Yeah, I would say that too. I think that one of the big mistakes I made was every time I left a job, I would cash out my 401k.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I thought about that. I said, wow, how much money would I have now? Yes. And it's like, did I really even need it? No. It was available to me, so I just took advantage of it.
I didn't know any better. I was always taught to save, to put in a savings. I was never taught the broader financials of
how are you going to make it work for you?
Yes.
How to make your money work for you.
I would leave a job. I would cash out the 401k. I would start another job. I would cash out the 401k. I don't think until I was in a job for 10 years that I learned that, it really should
be for your retirement.
Yes.
Roll it over to the next one, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to be, and at this stage, and again, if you start early, you will be set.
Yeah.
You will be set. You will be set by the time you're probably in your late 50s.
Yeah.
Then you coasting into retirement, right? As opposed to me, I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to think about the lifestyle that I want after I retire. I mean, I hear it all the time. I'm living you do it through life, but in retirement, it's really, really detrimental when you live in, I'm going to say, from check to check. Retirement check, not unemployment, Social Security or whatever. In this day and age, we don't know if we're going to have Social Security, right? So you have to prepare for long-term care, like who's going to take care of you, how you're going to take care of yourself. And it was really interesting. I was at the bank Friday, and I ran into an older couple, and I know them from work and business, and they was telling me the struggle to get a loan. And I'm like, what do you mean? he's retired. He has some stable income. He's working. He's tutoring for math, doing all this other stuff. He said, we got 2 incomes, but it seemed like we can't get along. And it didn't dawn on me until we was preparing for this, when it was saying, as much as possible, it's better not to enter into, a mortgage at this age. Wow. Because when you get older and you retire, if you do, not that you can, but you have to be mindful. If you do, you have to prepare your retirement to be able to still take care of your house. Yeah. And I've seen it where I've heard some people who are retired. Matter of fact, in my HOA business, I hear people all the time when we have a special assessment or we go up on the condo fees, which condo fees should go up every year. That's a whole nother story. But you got to prepare for things like that. And they are like, I can't afford anything else, or I won't be able to eat. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So
and that's sad. That always is when I work in human resources, and I have conversations with folks all the time that are working in their 70s and 80s, and we talk about when do you plan on retiring? And they always say, I just can't afford it. And I'm like, you're 80. I always look back and I'm like, I don't want that to be me.
I want to work until I'm 80, but I want to work because I want to work.
And they're not, and I say that to correct, they're not there because they want to be there. They're there because they have to be there. And kind of thinking about conversations, I have a pretty young team that reports into me. When one of my team members is 22, and we were talking about the 401k, and she was just kind of like, what advice do you have? Because we'll talk about some other bad things that I've done with my money over the past that I kind of advise her again, is to make sure you maximize your 401k.
I do. So I get every bit of it,
and
I want them to match it.
Yeah, and
it's like paying yourself, right?
Yeah, you got to pay yourself. So definitely, if the max is $3,500, I know that sounds like a lot, but put in the $3,500.
It really is not a lot.
I know, but it feels like, I talk to people all the time.
The number sounds like a lot, but if you really look at the taxes, if you compare what you're doing, and I always advise all young people who work for me, and it's like, I have to pull teeth, like, you need to do your 401k. And they thinking, I'm young. I say, this is the time to do it. I say, and guess what? When you hear $1,500, $2,500, you thinking, oh, I said, you might miss $20 per paycheck on your paycheck because it decreases your taxable income and you're not taxed on it. And they were like, what? I'm like, I'm serious. You have to look at it.
You got to pay yourself first. And that's how I always tell them, like, think of your 401k as you're paying yourself first, and then you put into other types of savings if you can. If you want to open a Roth, IRA or another type of 401k, you kind of can do that, but your company is kind of giving you free money. So
let me say this: we are not tax advisors.
Oh,
we are not.
We're not. This is just our.
This is just our opinion.
This is just chat. This is just chat.
We don't want anybody doing anything and coming back and trying to sue us. I am not a financial expert by any means whatsoever.
But you know what? It's so funny is that I am not a financial expert, but I sure act like one of those things, because I think, and I say that because of the way that I had to teach myself so much, and I think my mother did a really good job of always saying save.
That's all I ever heard was save.
Like, I remember having
and my grandmother thought save by putting it under
the passport book.
Oh, yeah.
I would always have my little passport, and I remember how excited I would go in because I would still deposit into my passbook, but I would not always have the passbook. And then every once in a while, I would go in and the bank would update the passbook, and it would be like, I would be so excited that each page would be like, I thought I was so rich. But I think it was a good foundation about savings. And that was always like a real important aspect of how I was raised.
I think I took the road, I heard it, but I didn't really quite understand it because they just say it, but they don't tell you the real importance of it. You got to see
behaviors demonstrated.
Yes. And so I was a spender. And I am just getting I think I'm still a spender, to be honest with you. But I'm also aware of what I need to do and what I have to do, right, to secure. I hope to live, I'm approaching 60, Next year is right around the corner, and I'll be 60. And so I've learned a lot of lessons and things, as she said, like not whenever I changed. I remember it was a lot of money, and I thought, oh my goodness. But then also they taxed it and all this other stuff. And then I got this tax bill, and I was like, oh my goodness. like what? And it's, you penalize. It's all these other things that you just not think about. I mean, it's there if you have an emergency, if you make it a life-changing move, buying a house. I mean, it's great to kind of use that money for things like that. But just to have it and go blow it and vacation and do other things, it's just not the right decision to make. But, everybody have to learn their own lessons. But we're hoping that some of the things we did can help you not make the same mistakes.
Can I ask you about budgeting? Do you keep a budget, like a spreadsheet? Like, do you do that?
You know
do you
what?
track your spending?
I am not as good at that as my husband is.
Okay.
However, every bill I have, how much I pay every month, when it comes out, is here. They say putting it on paper is better, and every now and then he'll make me put it on paper for him. Yeah. And I'm like, how many times I gotta tell you? But I run, in my line of work, I run budgets. And so I know the importance of budgets. And really a budget is just to help you, give you guidelines for that year, for your money, for what's coming in, what's going out. Sometimes we don't even know how far in debt we are because we don't write it down, right? And they hope that. And it's really funny because, all these little, and it's nothing against these companies because I love them and I use them, but we realize, like, why are we using those when we have money? Like the Affirms and all those things. I don't use any of those. They make it so convenient. Yeah, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I can get that and I don't have to pay for it right now?
Yeah, if I can't, that's a lesson learned in buy now, pay later. I've never been into that. I think that because I'm also, and I'm also very frugal.
I'm not frugal.
I'm very frugal, and I don't believe in buy now, pay later. So I've never actually done any of those before. But I just telling a story about someone else. I won't say names. They're not going to watch this. So
you never know.
But,
I'm always mindful of that.
But my husband's son was booking hotel rooms using Affirm, the buy now, pay later. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Rooms?
I didn't even know that you could do that.
You can do that on hotel rooms?
Yeah.
I know you can do that on flights.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people.
Young, and young people want to go to hotels, but I'm just like, I was like, I think you need to call him. Like, first of all, you need to call him and just maybe let him know that, yes, you may not think that this is, because you're 22. Again, you're not thinking about the impact that this is going to have on your credit score and all those things. But if you can't afford the hotel room, don't do that. Don't use,
It's not I would advise you that it's not a good practice.
It's
not if you want to, if you're really good about paying your bills off at the end of the month, if you want to set up some type of structure, you do things like I have used Affirm, but then I pay it off. I don't go that whole length of time. It's just like, okay, I can get this done. Don't have to worry about it. It's $3,000 or $4,000, but I'm going to pay it off in 3 months. I'm going to do whatever.
Yeah.
So, but you got to be really disciplined.
Yeah.
Because it's just like when you go and buy furniture and they say, how many people go in there and say, oh, here's $6,000 for furniture? Most of us say, oh, wait a minute, I can keep my $6,000?
And it's interesting that, I know this is totally changing, but that whole thing about, we're buying furniture now, and on the site, we only get the discount if we charge it.
But most of them have, you can do 90-day, no interest. Yeah. And we've done that. If you do that, you have to be disciplined to say.
Oh no, I would pay it. Those are things like.
Yeah, so that's what they do with credit cards in stores.
Yeah.
They do all those gimmicks to get you to get them, right?
No, but
so you got to be disciplined about yes, I want that 20% off, 40% off. Yes.
Furniture. So I am going to buy it on that, but.
You're going to pay it off
immediately. There's not going to be any it's going to be paid off because I do have the money to pay it, but I don't want to pay it at full price. Those things are
right. So you have to know that That's a marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, once they get it, will be like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
I can pay you $200 a month instead of giving you $6,000 right now. And then all those things add up. So those are things to really manage. And I'm not going to say that there are not tools that you can use, but you have to be wise about it. You shouldn't have 20 of them, right? Next thing you know, before you get paid, because you know they set it up where they get they withdraw the money directly from your account on a particular day, and you look around, you're like, damn, I got paid, but all my money go because all.
Well, that's why I'm a fierce budgeter. Because I can't keep it in my mind because I will overspend that way. So I track. It's kind of crazy. I have to show you my spreadsheet one day. I don't have it on this computer, but my spreadsheet is crazy.
You down to the penny.
Down to the penny, because I'm going through because I've did some things that I'm just like, I never want to do again. So I've become even more disciplined than I was before. So I have a fierce budget spreadsheet that I use. And when I go off of it, like when I got married, I had a lot of anxiety about it. And I still am like, we went over our budget. That was not on the budget spreadsheet. Like, what am I going
I blew the budget when I got married. I almost tripled my budget. I definitely doubled it. So I am not good at that. But one of the things we want to remember too, as you approach your 50s, that is probably your peak earning years, because you have gotten to the point in your career that you're probably making, I'm not going to say the most, but close to the most that you're probably ever going to make by the time you're in your 50s, right? Because you've built your career. I mean, unless you start over or do whatever. So just be mindful. I know for me, over the years, as I made more money, I started spending more money. And you're like, wait a minute, how did I make it on $22,000? And now I'm like, whatever, and I'm still having the same issues. Because it's that mindset, right? And it's how you manage your money. So this is the time to really, and if you are not good at it, you just could go grab a book. They have, just start with a simple
I'll link
budget.
a couple of financial books that I use in the description that I found to be really, really helpful.
My girl Susie Oldman used to help me out.
Susie, old school Susie, but there's some really, really good books, and I'll link it below just for some support that I've used to really help me. But I would have to say I'm so fortunate that both me and my husband both have a mindset of living under our means. And we've talked about buying a house, and we've had this conversation about it. We're in a townhouse right now, and the thought is we're married now, and should we have a house and do those things? And we're like, you know what? Let's continue.
You don't have to.
We don't have to. We don't have any children. It's just the two of us. Why get a big old house when we really don't need it? And also, too, we were like, I think we want to, because we are in our 50s, we want to travel more.
Yes, those are the things you want to do.
We want to travel at a luxury level. Like, we want to travel.
And I want to travel on a budget, y'all.
Yeah, I don't want to travel on a budget anymore. I don't want to travel on a budget anymore. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to travel really, really nice.
And take really beautiful vacations.
Yeah, I want to go. And so
life-changing.
And that's kind of our balance is like, hey, let's continue to not buy a new car. We have a car that's paid off. We were thinking about getting, like, all those things, thinking about getting another car. We're not going to do that. We're going to stay where we are and travel more.
Well, we thought about it because I was just, so my car, I have a Mini Cooper, is about to be paid off. But unfortunately, it's in the shop right now, and they're talking about $5,000. And I was really mad, right? I'm literally, you guys, really, January is done, right? And I was like, oh, no, that's horrible. And I was like, I should just get rid of it. And then we thought about it. We said $5,000, $40,000, $50,000 if I buy a new car. And I was like, and I had planned on going 6 months. I was going to make, for my 60th, I was going to get a car. And I been looking around trying to figure out what car I want. And I said, this car going to be paid off. I'm going to take 6 months. I'm just going to put that money in the bank, just like I was still paying the car note. And that's what we're going to use for the down payment. And I'm going to get another car. And cars are so overrated, right?
Very.
And matter of fact, him and I was talking this Mini Cooper, one time it got repaired, I had to spend $8,000. So when you think about what I paid for the car, it's like a $47,000 car. I have put in, now once it's $5,000, and then you can add up some of the other little things I've done along the way. Guys, I've put in about another $15,000 to $20,000, right? And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm at 100 and something thousand miles. And I was like, I'm gonna.
Yeah, you've had that car for a long time. 100,000 miles.
No, but I bought it used.
Okay.
I bought it where it was newly used.
I was gonna say, wow,
so it had some, but I drive a lot. No.
Yeah, you do drive.
But I drive a lot. I drive about 20,000 miles a year, 22, somewhere around there. I used to do the leasing thing, and I found out I can't lease a car. I drive too much. And I was upside down in leases, right? And I was like, at the end, I would flip it, turn it in, get a new one, and then they add on all of these fees. And I was like, I got to get out of that, right? So I was like, okay, we're going to buy this car. I'm no longer leasing. Because leasing, they tell you, because you can get those low payments.
Yeah.
At the end, they get you with all these fees and all these things. Every little scratch, everything. And so, again, those are lessons learned, too. I realized that leasing really is if you wanted to lease some kind of luxury car. Like, I don't think that's a bad idea if you have the lifestyle that warrants that, right? And there's a car that you don't drive every day. A leased car should not be a car you drive every day, right? Because they only want to give you like 12,000 miles. And so if you drive like I do, and I'm in real estate, and I play a lot of tennis, so I'm all around, it's like, that's not a smart idea. So again, I keep learning these life lessons. But with this car, I think I'm going to bite the bullet. And I think I'm going to go as long as I can before I buy another car.
I wish I had a car that was paid off and then wanted the
new car.
I
did that.
And leased a car, and now I feel like I'm in a lease trap that I'm going to get out of with the car that I have now. But not having a car payment was the best thing ever.
It was.
Oh
I went many years without a car payment. I was loving it.
Gosh, it's amazing.
I want
those times back. And hopefully end of next year I won't have a car payment.
When you don't have a car payment, guess what? Things come up with your car. You okay? You're like, it's the worst when you're still paying on the car and you got all these major repairs. When the car is paid off, what you do, this is one of the things I realized, what you do is, let's say if your car note is $600, that's hypothetical. Now that seems to be low from what people say. I mean, my car is below that, but a lot of cars are now, because people get in cars and you're not putting a lot of money into it. And so then they just say, okay, you'll get a $1,000 payment. I remember one time I had a $1,000 payment on a Mercedes-Benz, and I'm like, did I fall and bump my head? What happened? Why would I do that? My payments used to be in the 2s and 3s, and how did I go all the way to 1,000? But again, when you make more money, you start thinking, oh, I can spend more money. But what you do is when the car is paid off, so that you can prepare yourself for repairs, because they make cars to make us go get new cars at the end.
Yeah.
Most cars, as soon as it's paid off, you have a lot more issues with it, right? So you have to be very, very, very diligent about taking care of your car, getting the oil change, getting the transmission check, getting the cooler. Like, do all those checks. I know we thinking, oh, they're just trying to rip us off, but I admonish you that I think it's the best, especially if you're planning to keep the car, to make sure you do the best you can to take care of the car so you can extend the life of the car. So when you're done paying off the car, let's say your payment is $600. Take $300 of that dollars and put it away. Open up a car fund. Open up a savings account and call it the car fund, and put that money in there. Even if you never have to use it, when it's time for you to go get a new car, there you go. There's your down payment. To keep your payments low. And then think about it. If you do that and you put down more money, you can probably keep your car payment within that amount of money, 3 to 4, and you're already used to putting that money away. So it's not a strain on you when you get a new car. And last thing I want to say about cars, you do not have to get a brand spanking new car, because as soon as you drive that car off the lot, it has decreased in value.
It depreciates anyway, so yeah.
Yes, cars do not hold their value. You have certain brands that are better, and you can get a good return on your investment. But we decided that we go on American because the repairs are, anytime I do anything on this Mini Cooper, to get a light change, my back light went out. I went and bought one from Automotive, whatever those places, Advanced Auto, and I thought I was doing it, right? Couldn't find anybody that could put it on, because guess what? Mini Cooper has it that they have to take the whole bumper off in order to put the light bulb in, which they want to charge you $300 to do. You got to think about all those things. So investigate when you go to get a car, investigate the maintenance and how much money it will take to take care of that car. Just little things that you don't think about when you're doing it, and later you're like, what? To change a light? To change every tire on my car, and it's the worst car for tires. And that's just me. I have a few friends who have Mini Coopers who say they don't have the problem. But I've gone through so many tires, it is ridiculous because they run flats. They go flat all the time. They always need air. It's the worst.
I don't know if I would get a Mini. I don't know if you're selling me on a Mini Cooper.
No. You said selling you on one?
Yeah.
Selling you out of one?
You selling me out of one? No.
You was thinking about it?
No, I'm just joking.
If anybody was thinking about a Mini Cooper, hit me up. I will tell you.
Not to do it?
Well, not really, because I have some friends who did work. I will tell you the things to think about. Okay. I just want you to go into it prepared.
Okay. So as we kind of close up, what are some of the final advice that you would give those men or women who are watching, or some things to kind of think about on their financial journey in midlife?
Well, I would say think about your lifestyle and your legacy. Define what retirement looks like for you. Travel, your hobbies, supporting family. Because a lot of times at this age too, we're supporting our parents or family members or whatever, people who may be struggling or whatever. So a lot of us want to be a blessing to our families, and just build a financial plan that aligns with how you want to live your golden years, right? And that is the one thing I would say.
Yeah.
That's what I find now, and I'm approaching my 60s. It's never too late. I don't care where you are. If you're in your 60s, your 70s, 70s, you probably already retired. Maybe not. I plan on working into my 80s. Just because I think I enjoy what I do, and I couldn't imagine, and I don't mean I don't want to get up, go out the door for a 9 to 5, but I plan on working in some capacity. Because it helps you stay alert and just keep you moving, keep you doing things. God willing, if I'm able, health-wise and everything, that's what I plan to do. But I want to do it because I want to work. I don't want to do it because I have to work.
Yeah, and I would say my advice, and it's probably, again, because of my profession and knowing that there are resources. A lot of people think that they're afraid to ask questions or get advice. I would say that if you're currently working and you have a company that has a 401k, they do offer free financial advice. So I would say take advantage of those resources, or even if you have a bank, there are free retirement services and financial advice. You don't have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for that. You can get those free. My company uses for their 401k, they have webinars and things like that. I do one webinar a month with that company just so I can stay abreast of what's going on. And what I like about them is that they have this track called Women in Retirement. So it's really geared towards women, because I think we're the group that probably asks the least questions about financials and things like that. Unfortunately, as women, sometimes we find shame in asking questions around financials and stuff like that. I know that's changing, but I think that just making sure that you use those free resources, because they are there for you, especially with your company's 401k. It's there. Just go on their website. You'll find it. So that would be my kind of last financial advice. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars for that.
And I want to add that this is the time, too, to think about insurance and estate planning.
Yeah.
Even if you think you don't have a lot, just I own a business, and I'm a sole proprietor of my business, and part of that, I also run and operate millions of dollars with the properties that I manage. And the banker said to me, and this just last week when I went to go open some more accounts, he said, hey, I noticed that you're the sole proprietor. I'm like, yes. He said, so you don't have anybody else on the account that can move the money or do anything? And I'm like, no. And he said, that's not good. I'm like, what? He said, what if something happens to you? And I'm like, never thought about it. He said, if you got sick, if you got in a car accident, or if you, God forbid, died, he said, no one would, even the companies that I work for, the properties that I work for, wouldn't be able to get their money because you are the only person that can move that money around. And so I came up, and I have to get a directive to say what would happen, even if I only say that the money goes back to those properties. But so little things like that, like you got to think about that. So if you have anything, a savings account, children, please, please, please do not leave your money to your 3-year-old. I know you want to take care of your 3-year-old, but you have to trust someone. You have to give it to someone because then the money will be tied up until your 3-year-old turns 18. And whoever has to take care of your 3-year-old has to do it without any financial assistance from what you left to help take care of them. So think about all that. Think about,
Think about that and get the right support to be able to help you make those right decisions.
And if you're an AARP, which I am now, they have a lot of assistance programs. They have free webinars, free to educate you and to talk you through. And like I said, like she said too, most banks, they love to talk about that kind of stuff. You go in there, they will tell you everything. They of course they want to push their services, but more than that, they want to educate you. And so you can make an educated decision about what you're going to do. Estate planning, make sure you have your house in a will or an estate plan, because you don't want it to go to probate and just waste money. And God forbid, please, people, have money to bury you. It's nothing wrong with GoFundMes and all those things to help, but I just beg people, and I hope, take out enough insurance that you can put yourself in the ground. Make sure that somebody can bury you. Because they've already have this loss, and now they have to think about how am I going to have a funeral and all those things. Those are just added stress that they don't need. So again, think about your financial literacy and do something about it. You have an opportunity. Those of you in your 20s and 30s, and yes, I hope you're looking at our podcast, because one day you will get here, God willing, and you want to put yourself in the best possible position.
Right. So I feel like there's a lot more we could talk about on this topic. So let's plan on doing a part 2. Maybe there's more we want to add, but we will sum it up here. And again, thank you for watching Seasoned and Unbothered.
Yes.
Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We would love to hear some things that you've done in your 50s to ensure that you are financially set or stable. We would love to hear that, or even some mistakes that you've made that you've learned from.
That you've learned from
as well. We would love to hear that in the comments. But again, thank you for watching, continue to stay
seasoned and unbothered.
Bye.